optimistic. Some are even jubilating that
cause within a geographical area. That's what this economy is. Now, if you forced people to be sitting at home, remember what happened during the COVID when the whole nation was locked down. Remember that businesses were shut down.
I mean, other people would argue now that you're not forcing people to sit at home. It's in a way going to provide, it's going to
invariably make you have done
you're
that.
going to have to find another, you can now work 2 jobs. It's going to push people to create more opportunities for themselves, because if I have to work 3 days here and I know I have two other days of the week, or say 3 days,
I'll channel those days to
I'll
other
channel it into
productive
doing other productive things, because in the time of COVID you couldn't go anywhere, but now your movements are not restricted. You can actually move on to try other things, and especially now that they're saying, okay, we are cutting down the number of days that you're going to be working.
I hope you've not forgotten that we are talking about public servants, civil servants, that by law you are not supposed to do any other thing than to render your services to the Federal Republic of Nigeria or to such respective states. So those opportunities, yes, except agriculture, except agriculture, is only agriculture that is exempted. So those opportunities, beautiful opportunities that you talked about, they have. The existing laws have deprived those individuals.
Wouldn't
to
it
have
be safe to say that this is a very good time for these laws to be reviewed to see how we could actually...
well, it takes that legislation. Yes, I agree with you. But we are looking at as it affects, as reality, as it takes now. You are talking about, can we review this law? So yes, the good government should also look at that. They'll talk to their National Assembly member, legislator. Can we tinker with this law, allowing the civil servants to be able to do all that in order? But will you still have that effective? Will you be able to utilize what you needed to extract from those civil servants when their attention or when their loyalty has been shifted to other things? So that's the question. That's the moral aspect of it. Will they be able to be dedicated if they have other jobs? Will it not also totally affect them not even coming to work at all? So these are other dangers attached to it. But like I said, the law as it stands now forbid a civil servant to do other things than agriculture. So those beautiful opportunities would have created is not available there. So, but let's look at the issues as it's a beautiful decision to think of removing a subsidy, but we should have done the structural fundamental things first. We have moribund refineries. Can't we have looked at it and see what level of capacity we can bring to life this our refinery, or even say, okay,
but that's on the pipeline, that's on the way, because we're meant to understand by the previous administration that they are working on those refineries, although the days have been postponed countless times.
The last government has spent more than $16 billion trying to revitalize those moribund refineries, and we still got nothing out of it.
Yeah, certainly we've got nothing. So can we say, let's just wait and see how the next date, because I think it's around December this year.
I think it's safer to even run in that line of thoughts. Let's continue to wait while Nigerians are suffering. My concern is the feelings what Nigerians are passing through. We cannot. These leaders who in question, this government political, most of them are our cousins. We know them. They are not from the blues. Why would they not be taking decisions that will make the life of an average Nigerian better? That's the angle. So if we continue to say, let's keep watching them, let's keep seeing them, let them continue to do their usual.
No, I don't want us to jump into conclusion with regard to the refinery issue, because we are waiting to see how far, because I have seen a video of work ongoing in some of those refineries. That is why I said let's just leave it from now till the next date they give us, because it's supposed to be sometime
I have no problem leaving them, but we'll leave these guys for last 8 years, and they continue to do turnaround maintenance. Please, let's be realistic. And these programs are actually meant to either push on the government that what you've been doing. I know a medium like this is an advocacy to also remind the government that yes, you ought to do this. Citizens are becoming aware, just like what happened with the airline, the Nigerian Air. You see, Nigerians are becoming much aware. So let's continue not allow them get away with a couple of things they've been doing. We've been having this turnaround for past 8 years. We have.
I mean, people would argue that yes, this is a new administration, and we're starting to see that the new administration is doing they're taking steps that are quite promising. A lot of people, like I said earlier when I was introducing the show, are actually being very optimistic with this new administration. I want us to quickly just look at the debt that we're in Nigeria. As at December 2022, we were at 25 trillion naira in debt as a country, right? And that's from the DMO. Now, when we introduced the show, we spoke about Jimoh Ibrahim, who says that it's very possible for Nigeria to pay back its debts in 90 days. Let's take your thoughts on that first before we get into his article.
I think I wouldn't like to join issues with him. I would have loved you to invite him so that he can be able to explain better how you can get away with close to about 79 trillion naira of public debt in 90 days. I don't know what magic.
Okay, he said something like, let's do debt refinancing. We are owing. Let's look for Exim banks, like not less than 5 Exim banks around the world. Let's seek for loan of $100 billion.
Sorry, the key word there again is what? Loan.
Yes. But this time around, it's loan. But let me finish, because he said it's going to have a 40 years payback period, but with 10 years moratorium, which means for the first 10 years you don't have any interest to pay. You are not servicing any debt.
I mean, right now Nigeria is spending so much servicing our debt. We've not even started repaying.
So we are going to use that money after clearing your debt, the total debt. Now you're going to you're going to liquidate your debt. Nigeria would no longer have any debt. That's the one we are already servicing. Now the new one that we're going to collect, we have 10-year moratorium that we are not going to be paying anything for that 10 years. Then use that money to build the infrastructure you and other Nigerians are talking about. You talk about refinery. We can use that money, since our eyes have opened up to the reality now that Dangote used about $19.5 billion to set up the largest single train refinery in the world, 650,000 barrel per day capacity, which is far more than the entire 4 refineries Nigerian government own combined together, because the total capacity of the 4 refineries is around 450,000 barrel per day. So we can use that money to build something like that. We can use that same money to build on our electricity. We can use it to build our entire infrastructure that we need.
That is what is possible.
You see how it sounds so beautiful, so beautiful. When you listen to most of these elder statements from politicians, they always have these paper ideas that sound so beautiful. It's just like what CBN did, a couple of the Nigerian Senate did a couple of days or weeks ago, when they restructured about 23 trillion. It's just only asking for restructuring so that you have moratorium for so years, and you'll be paying on a piecemeal. Which of these Muslim bank, which of these multinational institutions that will be able to give you such facility? On what grants? How much did they love Nigeria to have offer you such kind of beautiful package? So the question is not realistic. It's just the thinking of the elder statesman that you can get such loan from you said about 4 or 5 of them around the world.
Banks,
and we are owing a couple of them also, and most of those loans that we owe, which institution is much better than IMF?
But I think these people are giving us this money because of the fact that we have oil.
I just asked you a question. Which other commercial or multinational institution, financial institution, is better off than IMF or World Bank, that will give you a grant that will not choke you?
None.
So, like I said, it's an elder statement. It has I think maybe he's trying to also make economic or political sense by coming out on the print media, but it's not practicable. No such institution can give you such facilities or such kind of a beautiful offer of that nature, except your own government, just like we did a couple of weeks ago. We just did it. We just bailed that Central Bank of Nigeria by restructuring what the federal government has been borrowing from the CBN for a couple of years now, and restructured that very loan, that 23 trillion to about 40 years, and single interest rate about 9%, and a moratorium of I think 5 years or thereabout. So it's only your own government can give you such a bailout. No institutions in the world can be able to do you that. You took their money, you've given them terms and how you're going to repay them, so you should be paying them back on that. So let's believe that he has much other beautiful details in respect to that, so that we'll be able to come at, because all we still continue to hear is just much as you said. Now let him come back again and tell us how practical, and name the institutions and that are willing already, because if there are, he should enter into negotiation or into contact with them so that they can approach Nigeria.
He said he has
that would be
contact. He even mentioned names.
Yeah, he did. Actually, that was a very,
remember,
very
sorry, on a silly note, quite a silly note, this same Jimo is a man that have been owing federal government for more than a decade now. He has not been able to repay the loans.
He said it's government that owing
he
him.
says that the government owes
and
him.
government has kept him in court. I think ICPC or EFCC he's been under trial or whatever. So let's continue to listen to most of these individuals and see the best they can offer to Nigeria. But like I said, let's encourage him to go further, bring these individuals so that they can, because I know such institutions, if they exist and have such offer, they will approach governments of Nigeria, because we are a sovereign nation, and we, as a sovereign nation, our level of default is equal to zero. Is equal to zero, because government can raise taxes, government can confiscate your property, government can do anything to raise funds, and good enough we have crude here.
And other
mineral resources
yet untapped.
This is a very, very interesting conversation right here. Business Around Town, Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja. We've been having a very, very informative conversation with Mr. Steve Nwachukwu, myself, Chinwe Blessing, and my co-host right here in the building, Aliu Doma. Let's go on a very quick break. Let's pay some bills. We'll be right back.
You can take the boy out of radio, but you can't take the radio out of the boy, can you?
Broadcasting in high definition.
At special moments, and sometimes you don't wait for it, you simply ask for it. Ask for Romeo's Pizza. It comes in different toppings with delicious fillings you can resist. Have a pizza for meal with Romeo's Pizza. Every bite is nice, every slice brings a smile that helps you come alive. Romeo, the pizza champion. Light up your family times with delicious cheesy toppings. Remember that true happiness comes at special moments, and sometimes you don't wait for it, you simply ask for it. Ask for Romeo's Pizza. It comes in different toppings with delicious fillings you can resist. Have a pizza for meal with Romeo's Pizza. Every bite is nice, every slice brings a smile that helps you come alive. Romeo, the pizza champion. Light up your family times with delicious cheesy toppings. Remember that true happiness comes at special moments, and sometimes you don't wait for it, you simply ask for it. Ask for Romeo's Pizza. It comes in different toppings with delicious fillings you can resist. Have a pizza for meal with Romeo's Pizza. Every bite is nice, every slice brings a smile that helps you come alive. Romeo, the pizza champion. Light up your family times with delicious cheesy toppings. Remember that true happiness comes at special moments, and sometimes you don't wait for it, you simply ask for it. Ask for Romeo's Pizza. It comes in different toppings with delicious fillings you can resist. Have a pizza for meal with Romeo's Pizza. Every bite is nice, every slice brings a smile that helps you come alive. Romeo, the pizza champion.
What's hot? What's hot on Voice of the People? VOP 96.1 FM. Weekdays at 6 p.m.
It's been a very lovely conversation this morning right here on Business Around Town. Myself, Chinwe Blessing, Andrew Ali Odoma, and Mr. Steve Wachiku. Thank you for staying with us. Let's go back into the conversation as we've been having it. So let's talk about one of the things that this administration has. One of the first things, that the administration said they were going to do is unifying the exchange rate. And a lot of Nigerians have heard about it, but we've not really had conversations as to what it means for Nigerians. Can we have your thoughts?
Thank you. I think the simplest way to explain unification of exchange rate is just giving you a broader picture of what it means. One, when you talk about unification, you're talking about where there exists more than a single windows or single faces. Now we have the parallel market, which we call unofficial, the malams in the streets. We have the CBN exchange window, that is the import and export with I&E window. So these are the exchange. Then inside the CBN there are still other windows existing, the window for an NPC, the window for manufacturers, the window for friends, and window.
He's saying and
So he
he's
said
like friends.
cousins, and I'm like, oh, great.
Sorry to use that, if use the word cousins, but that's the friends of the high and mighty in the central bank. So they get this very exchange rate at different rates. So it favors you. You can get it at 465 or 463, just like we had a couple of days ago, a report by Daily Trust that CBN have unofficially devalued naira to somewhere at 630. So it simply means, and they also say there are testimonials.
But they came out to say they didn't do that. CBN came out to say they didn't
but
do
there are
that.
testimonials. The question is that as an investigative journalist, they should have or a medium should have gone for, though they can call it for the NNPC, that I know there are exchange rate for NNPC and there are exchange rate. The one you even have in our budget as we speak is about is it not 435? Yes, that's the official exchange rate in our budget. But as we speak, the I&E window is 465, 464, 466. So the question remains that there are multiple exchange rates, as in getting to have an understanding of this word unification that the present administration is trying to take the course. So it's a beautiful thing to unify this window exchange rate where Dick, Harry and Tom, Paul, Rich, importer, exporter, manufacturer, student, those in medical, tourism or whatever, everybody can access a single unit exchange rate. You know what that does? It gives a confidence to an investor that this country is actually a sort of serious, in the sense that yes, they have one single, if I bring in money I have an exit, one single exit. So not the one, if I come at somewhere maybe 460 and I will be exiting somewhere around 700 or 800, because there is a lot of disparity in between this exchange rate, and that has given rise to what we call round tripping. You find out that friends, like cousins, like I mentioned earlier, friends of those high and mighty in CBN will be able to get somewhere. Take for instance, you get $1 million at that official rate, maybe at 435, which is the one in our budget. Remember, 2023 appropriation budget has a benchmark of an exchange rate of 435.75. So, but as we speak, it's 464, 465. So that's why I say there are multiple right inside the CBN. There are rates different. So I'm sure that CBN will be given to NNPC for importation of crude at somewhere those ones are available in the budget. because the budget is an appropriation, subsidy is appropriation. So whatever you do with NNPC, you have to go to what is available at the budget. So I'm sure they will be giving them. So that's why I said there are different exchange rates for different cadres or different businesses. So it gives that disparity. Like I'm trying to give an instance, when you go to CBN, get $1 million through your friendship or through whatever you have relationship with any high and mighty in the CBN, and you find yourself in one malam or in one unofficial market, any of the bureau de change, and you'll be able to go for 740. Do you know how much you've made? Between 460.
By actually not doing anything.
Doing nothing. So that's why it's very good to unify this exchange rate. But the way the government is thinking and going about it will still be effort in futility, in the sense that what they are looking at is just to move the figures, to move the numbers. And if you're moving the numbers, you get nothing.
What do you mean by moving the numbers?
Numbers is just maybe, you just like he did announce on the podium that day. Yes, we are changing it from somewhere around 450 or 460 to 700 or 650 or 600. You just moved numbers. You did nothing to actually unify the exchange rate, because you have to go fundamental, you have to go the structural. What are those factors that have caused this new multiple exchange rate? So these are the area you need to tackle. That's the only way you can get a sustainable unified exchange rate. What are these factors? You have to up your production. The proceeds, the inflow of that dollar is the main thing that can tackle whatever multiple exchange rate you have. Remember, a couple of weeks ago or months ago, CBN threatened embassies, threatened some diplomats that he's going to sanction them, is going to take legal actions against them. Why? Because embassies, they are foreign nationals, they are governments, so they should relate on the level of the official. So they actually go, when they receive whatever, whether it's money to maintain their embassies over here, or to carry out whatever functions they are doing right here in Nigeria, they go to parallel market, the black market, to change it.
Because they feel they get more value there.
You see, that's the danger. So that's why it's quite good to unify whatever move they do, but they should not go by looking at the numbers. If you still do it, the unofficial will drop to 1,000. The malam will just move to 1,000. So you should tackle that very important aspect, which is insufficient supply to the system. That's the only way you can unify it, whereby the official CBN exchange window is available for every man and woman. It's available for that man that is looking for one raw material to finish his product in his factory. It's also available to that student who wants to pay his school fees. It's also available to that man who wants to go for a medical trip. It's also available to all business, both top and bottom, manufacturer, industry, whosoever. Once you can access the official, the parallel market will collapse
automatically. Yeah.
So
it's just a lot of demand and supply.
Stop chasing the figure. That's why I say don't go chase the figure. Once you do that, simply you have more naira and less value. If you move from 460 to 700 or 650, you just had additional naira, but less value. You are weakening naira the further. So that's why I say that would be so bad if this government is looking at it. So look at those issues. We continue to have under remittances from the CBN. Remember also, from the NNPC. Remember CBN raised alarm the other day that NNPC is not remitting. Why is NNPC our problem in this nation, Nigeria? NNPC is not remitting because we have our sole source of forest is the NNPC sales proceed from the crude. So NNPC continues to tell Nigerians or continue to tell the CBN that we are having swap this and swap that. So no sales proceed is coming. That's why the naira continue to fall. In the last couple of months or years, we've seen Nigeria unofficially devalued naira. So as we speak in 2023, naira has also been devalued unofficially. Like I said, the budget is there, 35. But IRE window as we speak is forward. It's simply the naira have lost value, and government is officially selling to you at meaning that they have devalued their naira against their provisions in the budget.
You mentioned the unavailability of the dollar at the official level, right? Why is it so?
It's because there is unavailability is because there isn't sufficient supply. There are channels where we raise forests. both pounds, euro, or US dollar. We raise it mostly 90% is from sales proceeds of our crude, and we continue to have underproduction. Recently, we even go below 1 million barrel per day. And we continue to talk about oil theft. Is draining our resources.
And this.
We also have foreign remittances. Your cousins, my cousins, our brothers abroad sending money. This is another source of receiving. Another remittances comes, like I talked about, the embassies, the foreign missions here, and one businessman, foreign direct investment. So as we speak, foreign direct investment have gone below $500 million per annum, or in the last report, about less than $500 million. This is a rate we used to have 2 billion, 3 billion, 1.5, 1 billion. So when we continue to have such investments coming in, it helps to balance your payment. It helps CBN to defend the naira. And also the appetite of Nigerians, we are becoming too foreign that every single product we are looking abroad. We are consuming a lot of foreign. So you're putting a lot of pressure on the exchange rate. So these are the things, when I talked about the fundamental things that the government needs to tackle. Stop looking at chasing figure. Don't go say move it to this. You will still have nothing. Naira will still lose it more value. Remember, this same naira was exchanged at 195 some like 7, 6, 8 years ago. Now is about 700.
Just to ask for the layman on the street, right? Because we know that these currencies are available in the parallel market, more available than they are in the CBN, right?
It's because of the disparity you've created.
Why do they have that much access to it, and
the CBN is not
doesn't have that much access to it?
Okay, again, let's also maybe quantify it. The ratio, the volume of what is going on in the parallel market is less than even 30-25% of what the huge activities that CBN carries out in a cost of balance of our payment. But like you said, the unofficial market is becoming so much sustainable in the sense that is the most available exchange market where you and I can easily, if you have a cost to travel to somewhere or for tourism or for whatever, you will not go. Even with your passport, it will take you time before your bank finish the process of the process or condition to get you dollar. You quickly run to the malam. So that is where the dollar. And like I said, if foreign missions here now prefer to go to the unofficial, it means that it has reduced what is coming to the official. Now, if the NNPC fraudulently is not remitting what they ought to because of oil theft.
No, but there's the issue. Yeah, there's the issue of oil theft. But another thing is that Mele Kolokiari, GMD of NNPC, came out to say there are payments due to government in terms of taxes and royalties. Remember that NNPC is now a commercial entity, so there are payments that are supposed to be coming to the government. Instead of giving the government those monies, they now channel those money as subsidy payments, because there was budget provision for subsidy for the first half of this year, but there was no cash backing from the government. So the monies were used to service subsidy payment, and even with a deficit of 2.8 is it trillion naira?
Yes.
Or billion? Yeah, I think so.
They claim.
Yeah. That's what the NNPC
I think I wouldn't
said.
want to indulge into the rhetorics of NNPC, so not that big while on its own. the calculation, the under remittance, under recovery, and those criminal ways they developed from somewhere. Pardon me.
No, you're not supposed to use that. Please take back that your word criminal.
Yeah,
maybe they have to explain to us so that we'll be able to understand it better. Because what is under recovery and what is the federal government is owing you about 2.8 trillion only because you are being asked stop buying, stop doing any calculation that you are paying. You now quickly say you are still owing me. That's simply what he told President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you are owing me 2.8 trillion.
But what if he has the records to show?
Well, he will. Definitely they will cook up record. That's why I say yes, you can use the word allegedly. That yes, those books are not good. Those books are cooked up. Those books are over bloated, over invoiced, and the rest. Because we continue to question. That's why I said I don't want to get indulge into the NNPC rhetorics, because we are still questioning how are we consuming 60 million liters per day? How possible? So let's not go into the NNPC wahala.
Of course, recently we had protests in neighboring countries as a result of subsidy removal in Nigeria. They are even protesting
what
in
if
other
those
countries
things are staged?
No, it's
what legitimate right? Just in the right sense of it, what legitimate right do you have to demand on other neighboring countries? You took illegal activities, smuggled. You are protesting that they should not do.
No, this has gone further to buttress the fact that what is happening in Nigeria is
nobody
that people will collect subsidy payments. They will collect subsidy payments and now redirect the products to other countries to go and sell for more profit. That is exactly what we are saying here.
I agree with you. I perfectly agree with you. I'm a data analyst. And we have looked at this thing. There's no how. Okay, take for instance, let me blow your mind. If you say we consume 660 million liters
per day,
assuming now there was a report that NNPC came out that now we are now importing less than 20 million. Okay, 40 has gone. It's going through our neighboring countries, the Chad, the Benin, the Cameroon, and just our neighboring country. Just imagine. You see how this. That's why I said I don't want to even indulge into the NNPC. It's a headache.
I wish I could let us continue with this conversation, but it's just about time for us.
If I can land on this, if I can land on this, just imagine. Yes, just imagine you are moving 20 million liters of petroleum product through our borders. Just divide 20 million against 33,000, this long truck of 33,000, and know the number of trucks that you need to move every day across the border. So it's a force. So they should tell us that
now
those
I get
vessels,
where you're coming from.
Yes, those vessels is actually the vessels that they will divert, not trucks.
Well, that is like you said, a subject for another day, because there are so many questions. I have questions. I was just about to get into it, but time is the enemy of something that you enjoy. It's about time for us to leave the studio. It has been a very interesting episode of Business Around Town. Thank you so much, Mr. Steve Nwachukwu.
Always my pleasure.
So much for coming around. You really gave more life to the show.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of information. I do hope, like I always say, that we Nigerians